Mr. Wiggum, could you do me a favor and just count from 1 to 5 for me so I can get you on my big screens here?
Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Not getting on this. There he is.
There we go.
Okay, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I'm sorry.
But in fact, Mr. Wiggum, it's not true that Mr. Depp ever had a contract with Disney for Pirates 6. Isn't that correct?
Can you explain that question or that position?
Have you ever seen a contract that provides for Mr. Depp to play Pirates 6?
To the best of my knowledge, my memory, myself and my partner closed an optional picture deal for the amount of money of what that picture would be for Johnny.
And you would make sure to have that in writing, wouldn't you?
You know, that would normally go through legal counsel in terms of the codification of it.
Do you have any explanation for why there exists nothing, no piece of paper, nothing suggesting that Mr. Depp ever had a deal with Disney for Pirates 6?
Objection, lack of foundation, compound.
Oh, I'll allow it.
So I often close, when I was an agent, we would work on many deals where I actually wouldn't see contracts. They were verbal in nature. And then, you know, especially on optional pictures, just so there was an understanding of what the money would be.
So do you have an explanation why there is not even a piece of paper, not an email, not a text, not a document, nothing that suggests that Mr. Depp is going to be in Pirates 6 as Jack Sparrow?
Objection, asked and answered.
I don't believe it was.
So overruled. I'll allow it.
I mean, if you're asking me my opinion, it wouldn't necessarily be alarming because that would be a conversation usually to understand. Disney's going to want to know: are we on the same? Page about what the money's going to be? And most of that conversation, if I remember correctly, was also with one of Johnny's lawyers at the time.
Okay, and so you had, so Johnny's lawyer was discussing this, but there's no document. Do you have an explanation for that?
You may know better than me if there is a document. That was Jake Bloom, you know, at the time, I believe, if memory serves me correct.
All right. But would it be fair to say that you have never seen a document that provides that Mr. Depp was going to be in Pirates 6?
It would be fair to say that it was consistent with a lot of the conversations that I would have on behalf of Big Stars, where it was verbal and there was an understanding of what the deal was going to be.
Mr. Wiggum, if you could please answer my question.
Objection, harassment. He did answer the question.
I'll allow you. Want to ask your question? Go ahead.
Thank you.
Sure.
Judy,
Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
Judy, can you read that back? Thank you.
Sorry.
All right, so would it be fair to say that you have never seen a document that provides that Mr. Depp was going to be in Pirates 6?
It would be fair to say that I have not seen a document on Pirates. Now, just so you know,
Mr. Wiggum, I don't need you to give me extra. I just want you to answer mine. I just want to know, have you ever seen a document that says Mr. Depp is going to be in Pirates 6?
I only to fully answer the question though. I think there's some context.
That's an easy yes or no. Have you seen a document?
Technically, I perhaps have, because it connects to all the other Pirates films. It's just a modification of a new document. So I have not seen 22.5 million written on a page. You're correct about that.
Okay. Now, you, in fact, had discussions back in 2016 and 2017 with Mr. Bailey, Sean Bailey. You talked about him a little bit ago, right? Yeah. And you also had discussions with Jerry Bruckheimer in 2016 and 2017, correct?
Yes.
About Mr. Depp potentially being in Pirates 6, correct? And then you had discussions in 2018 with Mr. Bailey, and he was quite non-committal about whether Mr. Depp would be in Pirates 6, correct?
Objection, hearsay.
That's fine.
All right.
Okay. Given that he was able to...
I'll sustain as to hearsay. It is hearsay. All right.
So you determined, Mr. Wiggum, that by the fall of 2018, it was very likely that Mr. Depp was not going to be in Pirates 6. Is that correct?
It's a two-pronged answer from my perspective, because there was really two individuals involved in that decision. I would say Jerry Bruckheimer and Sean Bailey. Jerry Bruckheimer, in the fall of 2018, really wanted Johnny in that next film, and Sean was non-committal, as you said.
And Mr. Bruckheimer made it clear to you that Mr. Bailey was the one who gets to decide because he's Disney, right?
Ultimately, and he also wanted to be at the tip of the spear to really try to convince Sean.
Okay. Now, do you recall?
Thank you.
Do you recall having your deposition taken on January 20, 2021? Okay.
Yes, ma'am, with you.
Okay, can you pull that up, Michelle, please? Thank you. I'm going to ask you to turn to page 44. And Mr. Wiggum, you were under oath at the time of this deposition, correct? Correct?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Line 10. This is page 44, line 10. The question, do you recall approximately when in 2018 you inferred from your discussion with Mr. Bailey that the likelihood of Mr. Depp being in Pirate 6 was not high or was going away? And your answer at that time was, if memory serves me, the latter part of 2018 maybe. Question, when you say latter, is that any time from August to December, or what are you thinking? Answer, I would say fall, maybe, October, November, December, in that area. Do you recall giving that testimony under oath at that time?
I do, now that I see it, yes.
Okay. And in fact, there were quite a few things going on earlier in 2018 that might have had a bit of an impact on Mr. Depp's reputation. Would you agree?
It might help if you
refresh your recollection? Sure. And before I go there, though, I think you said that the reason it was so catastrophic for Mr. Depp for the op-ed was because it was a first-person account of Johnny, right? Do you remember saying that?
Yes.
Okay. Wasn't it a first-person account when Ms. Heard filed for the TRO in 2016?
So that would have predated any relationship I had to Johnny, so I had no knowledge of that.
Okay, so you don't know whether it was catastrophic then?
If you're asking me my opinion on something I don't know, I can form an opinion right now. It's a court document and probably a little different than an op-ed in the Washington Post. But I would agree it's not now that I'm forming an opinion, that it's not a great headline, for sure.
When you read the op-ed, did you read it online or did you read it in the actual Post paper?
I don't remember.
Well, let's pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 2. Does this refresh your recollection?
Very hard for me to see. Is that just the paper?
We're going to try to scroll in a little bit more.
Again, just you can help me. Is that the paper?
Yes.
The article?
Yes, that's the Washington Post.
So, what's the question? Sorry.
Does this help refresh your recollection of whether you saw it in print or whether you saw it online?
It does not, but I'll tell you that I did not typically pick up the Washington Post,
Okay. And so while we're sitting, if you can, just you're saying that then 2 years ago I became, oops, I better not do that. Let's clear that one. Then 2 years ago, it's catastrophic for Mr. Depp. Is that your testimony?
My testimony is that it reads like a victim statement from someone involved and the recipient, and it became a bit of a death nail, catastrophic thing for Mr. Depp in the Hollywood community.
All right, well, let's pull up Defendant's Exhibit 99. Now, there was, in fact, an article published in the Sun newspaper by Dan Wooten, the editor-in-chief, on April 27, 2018. Do you recall that?
Now that I'm looking at it,
Does that refreshes your recollection? And in fact,
Yes.
this article calls Mr. Depp a wife beater, does it not?
Objection, hearsay.
I'll allow it for them.
You know what? I can't see the print even with these glasses, but
All right. Well,
I'll take your word for it.
the title here is How Can J.K. Rowling Be Genuinely Happy Casting Wife Beater Johnny Depp in the new Fantastic Beasts film?
Objection,
you see
hearsay,
that?
Your Honor.
I'll allow that.
Yeah.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd like to move the admission of this exhibit. I think at this point, it's not offered to prove the truth of the matter asserted, but it's going to offer, he's testified to comparisons of other articles. He's testifying to the impact of the op-ed. I think it's, in fairness, we should be able to put this in and be able to make the comparisons.
It's clearly hearsay, Your
Okay,
Honor.
I'll sustain the
It's
objection.
not offered to prove the truth of the matter asserted, Your
I'll
Honor.
sustain the objection.
Okay. Well, let's go to the third page. No, let's go to the fourth page. So it has A5, I think is what I'm trying to get to. So it says paragraph 7. So do you recall that it says in here,
Objection, hearsay, Your Honor.
Your Honor,
She's just trying to backdoor your ruling.